question I have today is from Liam. He was asking about feeling nauseous during his strength training workouts and how he could improve his lactic acid capacity or his body's ability to deal with lactic acid so he's not feeling this. So I know Liam, he's been doing serious strength training for a few years now, and he has a good foundation and he's doing some pretty serious lifting. So this is something that commonly happens to people. I used to have this happen to a lot of athletes when they come see me. They would be having problems with lactic acid levels getting too high when they're trying to do their strength training. And so we don't want to be getting nauseous. You don't want to be feeling sick when you're doing your strength training. It's not going to be helping things. So what do? Well, the first thing, in my experience, a lot of times people's rest periods don't match up with the type of work they're doing. So the first thing you want to do is, in this case, he's looking to build some lean muscle, things like this. Look at what type of work you're doing. Are you trying to get muscular fatigue, where you're getting a lot of burning, a lot of lactic acid accumulated in the muscles, and trying to get muscle growth or hypertrophy work? Or are you doing stuff more on the end of the spectrum where you're doing strength work? So things where you're actually trying to get stronger, you're challenging the nervous system more. So commonly what happens is people have the inappropriate rest period for the type of work they're doing. So for example, if you're on the strength end of the spectrum and you're taking 30-second breaks, this isn't appropriate. You're going to wind up accumulating lactic acid regardless of how good a condition or shape you're in, because that type of work needs longer periods of rest, anywhere from 1.5 minutes up to 5 minutes, depending on what exactly you're working on. Now compare that to if you're trying to get a lot of fatigue in the muscles, you're accumulating more lactic acid that way. Typically your rest periods are going to be anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Again, depending on exactly what you're doing. So do you have the appropriate rest period for the type of work you're doing? If you don't, you want to adjust that, making sure you're getting the right type of rest. Now assuming you are getting the appropriate rest period for the type of work you're doing, and you still notice you're getting a little bit nauseous, lightheaded, things like this, signals that you're accumulating too much lactic acid, this is indicating that your general conditioning isn't as good as you need it to be to do the type of training you're trying to do. And so this is a really easy problem to rectify. So what you want to do is start to do some more general conditioning work. And so you could do this a number of different ways. You could actually do a full cycle where you're just doing general preparation work, you're working on lactic capacity and things like this. Or you can continue doing the type of work you're doing with the strength training and then add things on at the end of your work, things we call finishers or metabolic work, where you're accumulating a lot of lactic acid throughout the entire body, so throughout the whole system. So doing really big, fast movements. So it could be things like a squat and press, or burpees, or interval training, or any number of different things. But essentially accumulating a lot more lactic acid throughout the whole body, and then actually having a plan for that to progress. And then this way, what you're doing is you're building up your capacity and your body's efficiency to actually be able to deal with lactic acid. A lot of people don't realize that your body actually uses lactic acid as energy, or can use it as energy, but it needs enough oxygen for that reaction to take place. So when you're working really hard, like strength training, your body starts to accumulate too much lactic acid. If you improve that lactic threshold or conditioning like we're talking about, your body will be able to accumulate a little bit more and a little bit more and not get those negative feedback signals from the body. So give that a try, Liam. If you have any more questions or you're a little bit confused about how to actually implement that and start building more of a lactic capacity, just let me know, post the question down below, and I'll help you out with that.